Hello, everyone. Coming up here on the WWE Presents Crown Jewel Predict the Outcome on the Pro Wrestling Show. What a show we have for you as we have championship matches, grudge matches, you name it. All these matches right here that you see Bobby Lashley versus Goldberg, the Queen Crown tournament finals between Selena Vega and Doudrop, even Xavier Woods and Finn Balor are competing for the King of the Ring finals as well. Who's going to be king in this one? And also, too, whose side Brock Lesnar is on? Well, not Brock Lesnar, but Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman, the longtime advocate of Brock Lesnar, now the tribal council to the tribal chief Roman Reigns. Where does Paul Heyman's where does he stand and stuff when going towards this? All these questions and stuff as the pro wrestling show starts for Predict the Outcome for WWE Crown Jewel starts right now. Well, hello everyone. Welcome to this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show presents Predict the Outcome for WWE Crown Jewel, the Crown Jewel of Wrestling. Crown Jewel coming your way from Saudi Arabia, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Once again, a lot of people saying it's WWE money grab for WWE to get more money than they make than AEW do. But hey, it is what it is. We got 9 matches, 4 championship matches, including a couple of grudge matches as well. But first things first, join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribing is caring. Tell a friend, call a friend, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing here as we talk about WWE presents Crown Jewel. Crown Jewel, as we said, coming from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, will be on Thursday morning. It'll be a different start time, but hey, WWE knows pay-per-view than they normally do. Well, let's get to some of the undercard matches as well. We'll get to some of it as Mustafa Ali takes on his former tag team partner that he's been teaming up with, Mansoor. Mansoor has a record of coming to these events in Saudi Arabia winning. He has a winning percentage, almost about 80%. He's been winning all his matches in Saudi Arabia. What does Mustafa Ali think that he's not the other person that could be stopped in this match? Only time will tell. We know that Mansoor been trying to team with Mustafa Ali. They've been trying to aim to go for tag team gold, but due to their unlikely pairing and alliance, that went up in flames. Now Mustafa Ali turns his attention and tries to be different than his tag team partner, Mansoor. We know that both men are, high flyers and stuff, and it's still at the end of the day, what can you do when you're trying to team up with your partner and now you're no longer a team no more because you no longer can't, get along to get along. So a lot of these matches and stuff proves that point and proves that theory of what's going on. Look for Mansoor to win over Ali. I think Ali gonna be this feud gonna continue on to SmackDown. You can tell. So look for that feud to head towards SmackDown in the end. So look for that. Also, too, we have another match going forward. We know that Bobby Lashley will go against Goldberg. This is a highly anticipated grudge match for everyone's been talking about. These two men hadn't been fought each other since SummerSlam when the WWE title was on the line when Lashley won, but now the title is not on the line and Lashley's no longer the champion. So Goldberg looking to get revenge for himself and his son, what Lashley did at SummerSlam. And we know that Lashley and Goldberg are two of the biggest titans and stuff that want to, beat each other to apart. And Goldberg, you see right here, took it to accepted Lashley's challenge, no holds bar, speared Lashley's reformed teammates, the Hurt Business, took them out. So Goldberg looking for retribution at the latest. He wants his hands on Lashley bad, and he wants it bad indeed. Lashley got out of the shuffle. The former WWE champion now looks to contain against Goldberg. They're looking for revenge, payback, retribution, you name it. So look for Goldberg to emerge victorious over Lashley and get the win over Lashley at Crown Jewel. Also, another grudge match, Seth Rollins versus Edge. This time they will take their battle inside a Hell in a Cell match. These two men, this all started when the Universal Championship, when Seth Rollins wanted a shot at the Universal title. He couldn't get a shot at the title, and he blamed Edge for brewing it for him. And Edge was like, hey, I had got the shot, but Seth Rollins cost Edge the Universal Championship as well. So there's a whole lot of factors going into this match between these two men, Seth Rollins and Edge, playing mind games. Seth Rollins coming to Edge's house as a home invasion. I mean, that's the sickest and most despicable thing you can ever do, going to a man's house and try to go on his belongings because you got mad because y'all had your second match at Madison Square Garden where Edge lost his match. Edge won the first match at SummerSlam, but Edge and Seth Rollins win again for the second match at Madison Square Garden, costing Edge to storyline get injured and stuff. Edge was kind of out of capacitated for a minute. So Edge looking for retribution all the wrong ways, and Seth Rollins wearing this ridiculous suit, look like a Joker. So it's going to have to be settled between these two men, Edge versus Seth Rollins, because the battle line has been drawn, and the only way for us to finish it will be in Hell in a Cell between these two men, finishing it at Hell in a Cell. You see Edge taking it to Seth Rollins. Edge wants his Seth Rollins bad, and we can't wait to see it. This match is going to be tremendous. You can tell. So look for. It's hard to say, but when you got a man's reputation online, who's going to be better? I think Seth Rollins needs it more than Edge, to me, but Edge needs it because he needs to prove a point to Seth Rollins. So look for Edge winning at Saudi Arabia. They want to send the crowd home happy. You know how they go. Look for Seth Rollins to lose over Edge. And this battle between these two men has got personal, and we'll see it come to fruition. And look for that to happen inside that cell for Edge to make Seth Rollins tap out or something. So Edge can get his comeuppance over Seth Rollins. So look for that. Also, too, the SmackDown Women's Championship is online in a triple threat match for the SmackDown Women's Championship as champion Becky Lynch defends her goal against challengers Bianca Belair, Sasha Banks. This has been fuming for almost ever since Bianca Belair won the Royal Rumble, and Sasha Banks and Bianca had that feud coming towards SummerSlam, but never happened until Becky Lynch showed up and took the title away from Bianca into Bianca's historic reign. As you can tell, Bianca Belair and Sasha had numerous matches throughout SmackDown, throughout from WrestleMania to SmackDown. Matches that we'll never see again, but you can tell that was phenomenal matches. These women are propelling athleticism at its finest. So now we can see that Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks, this feud is continuing on. Got to wonder how they're gonna be dressing during when they go to Saudi Arabia. As you see right here, this is a historic moment right here. Bianca Belair picking up both champion and one of her champion challengers, Sasha Banks, and did a KOD onto the table, putting the SmackDown Women's Champion through the table with Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, and Bianca Belair standing tall. So it's a lot going on in this match. So look for the champion, Becky Lynch, to retain her women's championship as she leaves SmackDown and she goes over to Raw, and we will see Becky Lynch move over from Raw to SmackDown, and bring the she will bring the she will switch those belts. She will switch the SmackDown title with the Raw title. She'll be the new Raw Women's Champion, create her a new reign, as well as Charlotte Flair will create her a new reign going forward with their belts. So look for that changing over. Becky will be the Raw Women's Champion. Charlotte will be the new SmackDown Women's Champion. And Sasha Banks would be the last hope for SmackDown to regain, to get the title, to get the title, not from Becky, but Becky no longer gonna. Becky's gonna retain her championship. Wait, Bianca Belair will get a fresh start with Becky with the Raw Women's Championship. So look for that coming forward in the near future. That's why I can kind of see it with them starting a new rivalry, new program on Raw. Continue their program from SmackDown to Raw. Look for that. Also, we trying to okay. Also, more of Crown Jewel coming up. We want to show too that a lot going on with this. We talked about Edge and Seth Rollins. We'll get to that back later. Also, the Raw Tag Team titles on the line as Randy Orton and Riddle RK Bro team up against and put their belts against AJ Styles and Almost and AJ Styles. I mean, they're the colossal team that many people have seen coming. Randy Orton even challenged Almost a couple occasions to test the big man and his skills and stuff to see if the big man got what it takes to not Goldberg. Goldberg, I don't know about Goldberg Almost, but hey, we know that Randy Orton and Riddle have been on the road since winning the titles at SummerSlam. Randy Orton been delivering RKO's left and right, even to Almost. So this is a tag team match that everyone wants to see, but never thought would see. So look for Randy Orton and Riddle to retain their World Raw Tag Team Championship over the team of Almost and AJ Styles. And maybe Almost and AJ Styles might break up finally if they're ready for that. But I don't think they're ready for that yet. Also, coming up on the report too, we talked about that. The WWE title is online. It's Big E defends his title. I guess this is his second title defense against former champion Drew McIntyre. Now we told you Drew McIntyre is heading to SmackDown. Drew McIntyre, this is his final opportunity to go for the goal on SmackDown. Drew McIntyre leave Crown Jewel with WWE title in his grasp. Drew McIntyre and Big E have been they've been kind of testing each other's skills, but like I said, we'll see. But like I said, it's only a matter of time. Could these two get along? We know that a couple of weeks ago, Drew McIntyre and Big E teamed up in a tag team match against the Usos, and now could they get along? Now that's the question. Only time will tell. Big E and Drew McIntyre got respect for each other, but when the title's on the line, all that changes. Could Drew McIntyre leave with the WWE title in his grasp? Only time will tell. I look at it and see that the Big E, the Goof, will keep his championship intact, and he'll lose it down the road to somebody else, probably Lashley again or somebody. So Big E will retain his championship over Drew McIntyre and send Drew McIntyre packing home to SmackDown, and Drew McIntyre will be gone from there. So look for that coming forward. All right. Also, we talked about it. We talked about that But we talked about another match that's going to happen as well, as Xavier Woods takes on Finn Balor for the King of the Ring. Finn Balor, this is unlikely. We know Xavier Woods been talking about being King of the Ring, and now he has the opportunity of a lifetime to become the King of the Ring. He's been talking about it, he's been clamoring about it for years. Now he has his opportunity to become the King of the Ring, and he takes on Finn Balor, who wants to be from Prince to King. You know, Xavier Woods is eyeing to be the king holder of the King of the Ring. He has one more step. He has to defeat Finn Balor. In order to do so, in order to share his legacy, to become the King of the Ring, put it in fruition, and now Xavier Woods could be doing that and could be possibly be the new King of the Ring. Only time will tell on that note. Well, Drew McIntyre will not be no King of the Ring, but Xavier Woods has the opportunity of a lifetime to become king. And that journey to become King of the Ring, Xavier Woods went through. He went through Ricochet. He took Ricochet down. Also, too, he took, and then we saw that Jinder Mahal. We thought he was going to be a favorite to win the King of the Ring. That wasn't the case, and he didn't win that. So it's a possibility that we could see Finn Balor become the King of the Ring. So only time will tell on that. Finn Balor has the pedigree to become the King of the Ring. He can do so by winning the tournament over Xavier Woods, and doing so with that, Finn Balor has that opportunity of a lifetime to put his name in the record books and become the King of the Ring. He defeated Sami Zayn to get to his journey. So Finn Balor looking towards that contest. So look for Finn Balor to. I'd be shocked if Xavier Woods win the King of the Ring. I would be shocked. I would be like, what? Didn't see that coming. But anything is possible. So, you know, hey, it is what it is. Look for Finn Balor to win the King of the Ring. Also, too, man, Xavier Woods, I'll be shocked if he wins it. But heck, here's what it is. And finally, the main event of Crown Jewel, and I mean the Crown Jewel, will be for the Universal Championship, as Universal Champion Roman Reigns defends his championship against challenger Brock Lesnar in this big match type field match. This is somewhat like a WrestleMania 2015, 2018 matchup. And then the only common denominator is, where does Paul Heyman stand in this match? Where does Paul Heyman ally his loyalties to? Does he ally his loyalties to Brock Lesnar, the one he managed for a long time? Or does he align his loyalties to his current client, Universal Champion Roman Reigns? A lot to be answers to be questioned and stuff. And I mean, a lot of answers to be questioned. Even so that people had saw that there was a contract signing between Lesnar, Heyman, and Brock. Brock signed the contract, didn't look through it. Roman Reigns asked Brock Lesnar, "Is you dumb? Is you stupid, or what?" And Brock said, "Yeah, I read the contract. I read what it was all about." And he said, "You didn't read the fine print or nothing. Brock just signed it." Brock said, "You know what? I did read it this morning, but you had to look at Paul Heyman's eyes too. Paul Heyman's been telling the stories late too, or what's going on. He's been looking at Roman Reigns. He's been with him, but he's not been trying to do what he can with Roman Reigns. But I mean, things got so you can the intensity, you could cut it with a knife, like Gorilla Monsoon used to say. It was so much tension going on. It was a tense, hostile. You know what? Paul Heyman. You see why Brock got his hands over. Paul Heyman looks at it, and then it gets more wicker. He read it and told him that Paul Heyman was. He looked at Paul. Paul Heyman looked at Roman. Looked at Paul and said, "What is going on? Is I'm being tricked or something?" And Roman Reigns even thinking that Like, is you tricking me, Paul? Paul Heyman stood there beside him. It's like, what's going on? I mean, it's a lot going on. So, like I said, it's this Universal Championship match has got more interesting than we expected to be between these two men who battle each other. But where does Paul Heyman loyalty stand? And I think they've done a good job with that. That's the only job they've been doing right, doing so good so far. So I'm assuming Roman Reigns will retain his championship, but there's a lot going forward, and they'll have a rematch between them two coming back forward down the road. So, all right, that does it for the Crown Jewel. I've been your host, Kendrick Dix, saying thank you all for watching. We'll see you at Crown Jewel on Peacock. We'll see you down the road. For me being Kendrick Dix, saying so long, and we'll see you at Crown Jewel. See you later.